Welcome to Module 7, Lesson 2, that will discuss how to report CACFP income and expenses on the monthly cost claim details. The information is found in Chapter 5 of the CACFP Administrative Manual. The cost claim details is a document that must be submitted on a monthly basis with the claim. The purpose of the report is to show how you spent your CACFP reimbursement. It includes places to report CACFP income, CACFP operating expenses, and CACFP administrative expenses. Line items in the annual budget match line items in the cost claim details. All line items submitted on the cost claim details must first be approved in the annual budget. If you submit income or expenses on the monthly cost claim details not previously approved in your budget, you will receive an error message and be unable to submit your claim for payment. However, it is not necessary to report all CACFP expenses listed in the budget in the cost claim details. You must report only enough expenses to show that all CACFP reimbursement has been spent on allowable costs by the end of the fiscal year. Reimbursement is not paid for reported expenses, but instead for the number and type of meals claimed each month. All CACFP expenses must be reported in a consistent manner to ensure that all expenses will be included and none will be reported twice. Centers may choose to use either the accrual or cash accounting method when reporting expenses. Accrual-based financial systems report expenses in the month in which they are incurred, whether they are paid or unpaid. An expense is reported in the month stated on the receipt, bill, or invoice. Accrual accounting must be used at the end of each fiscal year to ensure all expenses incurred and income received for that year are accounted for. Cash-based financial systems report expenses in the month in which they are paid. An expense is reported in the month listed on the check used to pay the bill. For example, on April 4, 2017, you bought groceries totaling $205 and paid with a credit card. On May 4, 2017, you received and paid the bill for $205. If using the accrual method, you would report the $205 on the April financial report. If using the cash method, you would report the $205 on the May financial report. All CACFP income and expense reports on the cost claim details must be documented with invoices, receipts, canceled checks, bid documents, pay stubs, or deposit slips. All documents must be kept in a monthly CACFP file. Use the Cost Claim Details monthly worksheet to summarize and organize monthly income and expenses to be reported. Report enough expenses to show that all CACFP reimbursement has been spent, as organizations must not make a profit on the CACFP. The total amount spent on CACFP operations must equal or exceed CACFP reimbursement at the end of the fiscal year. If the organization has other CACFP income, it must be subtracted from CACFP expenses. The net amount of CACFP expenses must be equal to or greater than CACFP reimbursement at the end of the fiscal year. Center sponsors must consolidate income and expenses for all sites in one monthly cost claim detail report. Report CACFP income in Part A of the cost claim details. When reporting CACFP income, report only income categories approved in the annual CACFP organization budget detail. Examples of CACFP income include participant payments for meals for pricing institutions and staff meal payments if they are required to purchase their meals. Document both with meal payment receipts and track on a ledger or spreadsheet. Other examples of CACFP income include income from the sale of meals to another organization, any other income designated for the CACFP food service, such as grants and contributions, and CACFP reimbursement. Use the cash reporting method and report CACFP reimbursement in the month it was received. Document receipt of reimbursement with a copy of the deposit slip or bank statement. CACFP expenses must be reported once as either an operating or administrative expense. Operating expenses are related to the operation of the food service. Administrative expenses are not food service related. Lessons 3 and 4 will go into further detail about how to report operating and administrative expenses. This concludes the lesson on how to report income and expenses on the monthly cost claim details. If you have questions, please contact your CACFP consultant or the state agency. Contact information can be found in the front of the CACFP Administrative Manual.